You are listening to the Iconic Agent New Construction Marketing Podcast.
I'm Nathaniel Crawford.
And I'm Damon Green.
We've helped agents sell over $400 million in new construction since 2020.
And now we're here to skyrocket your sales. Let's build your real estate empire and create the life you deserve. In this episode, we talk about how emotions will kill your marketing and advertising campaigns and what to do so that doesn't happen. All right, so here's one of the challenges that I run in with a lot of our iconic agents and most agents that I see running Google ads specifically or traffic, and they're not used to it. So they get it running like, damn, can you look at my ads? I'll look at them. Nothing wrong. A month later, 2 months later, I didn't get a lead in all week, and I start freaking out. I'm like, okay, what are your metrics? Well, I don't know. Go get your metrics and tell me. Here's why. Your emotions will always steer you wrong when it comes to running ads. If you've never spent money or invested money in yourself in something, you get 20 leads in, they're like, oh my God, nobody bought. If you had the solution that it was almost guaranteed for every 20 people you talk to, there'd be a sale in there, don't you think everybody would do it? There's a process. It takes work. And it takes, we talked about a pipeline in an early episode, you have to keep building, But here's our rule of thumb. In any marketing that you're doing, especially digital marketing, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, these are the baselines we have. Now, I call it the Kenny Rogers 100-2500 rule. It actually changed a little bit. It's more like 120 to 3,500, but it started off as the Kenny Rogers 100-2500 rule. So, you need at least 100 to 120 leads before you freak out. Whatever the cost is, doesn't matter. So let's say your cost is $10, $20 a lead. So that's what? $2,400 before you freak out. Because that $2,400, when you get that sale, as long as you're following up properly and know what you're supposed to be doing, it's going to bring back at least 10 grand. So you put 2,500 in, you get 10 grand out. Or between $3,500 and $4,000, you should have one sale in there, and that sale should make up for it. Now, one thing I hear often is, well, I don't have $4,000 to do. That's not $4,000 over a month. That's $4,000 over time. So if it takes you a whole year to invest that $4,000, you invested the $4,000. Ideally, you're going to be targeting $500,000 and above. So let's say $15,000. You put $4,000 in, you get $15,000 out. Do the math. You made $11,000 that you would never have made if you did not spend that $4,000. Now the next question is, how much of that $4,000 can you reinvest, and how quickly can you invest another $4,000? Because then you're going to have another $15,000, $8,000 in, $30,000 out. Keep going. Now most agents stop there. They want the right now money. We've talked about pipelines and following before. Remember, within that process, let's say you did $8,000, and that was 240 leads, okay? 240 leads. You made $30,000. You spent $8,000. You sold two. So you really have 200. You still have 238 leads that you're following up with. So now you get that, drop that other 4,000 or get that other 120 leads. Guess what? Now somebody from a year and a half buys two. Now you got two sales during that time, and it rolls and rolls. But you never get to that if you give up. So the rule of thumb, 100 to 120 leads, or maximum about $3,500, you see a deal within there. You got to keep going until you get to that. Otherwise, you're going to freak out. Now, if you want to get specifics, this is specific to Google Ads. Here's our guardrails to determine, whoa, we need to make some changes. Our rates, click-through rate, conversion rate, we like to see double digits. Now, I say double digits, that's like 10% plus, but 8 plus is good because the average Google ad click-through rate is like 4 to 5%. So if we're at 10, that's double. We've seen as high as 21, which is amazing. That means you wrote some killer ads. So your click-through rates and conversion rates. Conversion rates are going to vary. Quality score, Google quality score, we like to see between a 6 and a 10. That's your Google credit score. So the keywords you're selecting, you want to have the pages optimized enough so you have between a 6 and a 10. 5 is okay, but 5 is And then cost per lead under $50, ideally. If it's over $50, but you see good quality, we had like Javier out in Jacksonville. He was like, Damon, my lead cost is like $100, and we optimized it and got it down probably like $75. And he's like, yeah, I'm seeing if I can get it down. And he's talking. Oh, but they're great leads, and I'm talking. I'm like, whoa, wait. Tell me more. He's like, yeah, I'm talking to them, and they're coming into town, and like they're engaged, and they're calling me back, and we're gonna meet. And I'm like, okay, well then $75 is good. I pay $75 all day for somebody that I'm gonna have a conversation with, and it's gonna come down and build a rapport with, and eventually sell to or bring referrals all day. And then so we got double digits. Oh, click-through rate. We like to see $3 or under. So those are the guardrails that we look with. And if anybody ever sends me anything, I'm like, okay, let me look at your numbers. Let me look at your metrics. You're good. But by knowing these numbers, you can immediately look and see, am I acting from emotion or am I acting from the data? The data is going to dictate that. Now, there are some occasions where we've had some campaigns running, and I'm like, how come I showed this person how to set this up, and they got a $12 lead, and they're having conversations, and we set something up here, and it's a $75 lead, and ain't nobody coming through. So it's every campaign is unique, but once you know these numbers, you know how to make the adjustments so you're not flying blind, you're not freaking out. But from a high level, you need 100 to 120 leads. If you can't close something within then, your marketing is probably not that good, or you're not good enough because you're not following up like you should be. Or if you spend, I say maximum $4,000 on any type of market, you should see a return, or at least really close to the horizon. So you got anything to add to that?
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Know when to walk away, know when to run.
Thanks for tuning in to the Iconic Agent New Construction Marketing Podcast for Realtors. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast player. Visit theiconicagent.com and grab the New Construction Buyer Traction Blueprint. And don't forget, join the 5,000 plus strong new construction marketing community at www.theiconicagent.com/community. Catch you on the next episode.